Hello and welcome to a new weekly outlook. Today is Monday the 16th of March and I know I've missed a week of uploads, but I was ill and I didn't get round to doing a recap of the week, nor did I get the next week's weekly outlook out, so I apologise, but here we are, we're back on the charts. And as always, let's start on the economic calendar. So as you can see, today we didn't have anything. We had Trump speaking. Tomorrow we've also got nothing. Wednesday we have got PPI. We've also got FOMC, and then the FOMC press conference, usually quite volatile. Thursday we've got unemployment claims as normal, and then a bit for the pound and euro, and then we have nothing on Friday. And then obviously Saturday, but the market will be shut then, so it doesn't really matter. So, coming on to the charts, what do we see? Let's do our weekly analysis, or let's do our top-down analysis. So, excuse me, we have got a monthly, a current monthly candle looking like this. Looks good, right? Nice, looks strong. We had an expansive week last week that we did manage to catch, but I'm not going to go into that too much. So obviously we can see that we've swept the high of November 25. Here, just zoom in a little bit so it makes it a bit clearer. So we've currently taken the November 25 high, nice, and obviously we have had a pullback off of that, being a giant pool of liquidity, so say. So currently, what are we looking at targets on the monthly? Well, you can see there's a monthly FVG untouched above here. So if we are bullish, that would be the next monthly target. We know we don't trade the monthly candle, so let's go down to the weekly. Okay, current week is looking like this. Now, let me obviously show you and make you understand that we have got a weekly FVG which is all the way down here. Just going to mark this out, and I know I've got an indicator on for that, but it's good just to keep an eye on these things. So, weekly FVG, is it likely that price is going to trade all the way down here to then trade all the way back up in 1 week? No, but that's not to say price might not gravitate towards that and then continue in the next week or two. Alternatively, obviously the bias could just be bearish and we could be wrong, but we know we need to trade order flow until proven wrong. So currently DXY is bullish. Yes, it's just taken a decent amount of liquidity on the buy side, but understandably we need to continue to look for DXY longs until proven wrong. So that then brings you down to the daily. What does the daily chart look like? Just going back to the weekly, sorry. From a weekly point of view, obviously this weekly high here would be the next target. If I just make this here and do weekly high, I need to save this. Weekly high, perfect, save, okay. Where does that lie? Okay, that lies in with the monthly, perfect. Okay, so that has two draws on liquidity. We've got a weekly high plus a monthly FVG, perfect. Daily, okay, what do we see on the daily? Well, over last week's expansion, obviously we managed to catch this move to the upside to these draw targets here. Now, we had a nice sweep of liquidity down here. We had displacement off, excuse me, and then we managed to, like I say, catch the expansion up. Now, what we can see, and I'm actually going to set an alert on this daily FVG, and I am going to mark it actually, just so I know what I'm marking. So daily FVG, just so I know it's there. Just move this really quickly. Cool. So daily FVG goes there. Logically, this is the closest now draw target for price to do something from. So from here, what do? Do we continue? Do we hold? Do we show signs of respecting? Do we then look to trade higher? Alternatively, there is another daily FEG right below, so price could well and truly sort of ignore this one, trade into this one, wick below, and then obviously start to trade higher. Okay, cool. Obviously, first protocol is into this one. What do we do here? Can we set a solid low of the week with some form of displacement above, some internal sweeps of sell side liquidity, etc., etc., and look to trade that? So that off the bat, by letting Monday play out, that's what I would be looking for. When I go onto the 4 hour, you are going to see a position on DXY. Now this was purely just a forward test after what I saw this morning. It was really good. I don't intraday trade on Monday, as the model says. Yes, sometimes Monday intraday trades will work, and it looks like this one could potentially work, but by building good habits, we know that in the long run it's going to pay dividend. So I'll explain what I saw, just so for data purposes you can understand what I see in the market. So obviously Friday closed out, we had taken that major buy side liquidity, we know about that. Last night when the market opened, we had a strong bearish candle, and what that done is actually inversed this 4 hour FEG here by having such a strong close. That then left this array. Now what you can see is this was Asia session that caused obviously this strong move to the downside. It left behind obviously this 1 hour FEG, which coincided with the 4 hour FEG that was created. Okay, perfect. We can see that we have a sweep of the Asian session high. Perfect. And then from there we get a strong displacement to the downside. Now, understanding that obviously big bullish week last week, a lot of expansion, taken buy side liquidity, we've taken a monthly high. Price is not going to continue higher just straight off the bat off of a little retracement. We need to grab liquidity, right? We know that. So once we get a strong displacement during London session, it was around here that I thought, well, let me just forward test it. Yes, could have quite easily got in up here or something like that, but straight off the bat it was like, okay, we've now taken the Asian low and finished that candle strongly. And then we don't need to cover the full invalidation, because I think if price comes all the way back up here, we're going to trade higher. So it was like a shaved SL just to get a bit of a better risk to reward. Where's the next logical target? Well, we have an Asian session low, which, as you can see, my mark, it is the same area where the daily FEG lies. So next logical draw is this here. That would have been TP. Obviously if it hits, it still might not, but logically I think that's what's going to happen. So that's the position I'm currently forward testing for data purposes. And then from here, like I say, once we enter this daily FEG, it's just a matter of understanding, can we set a low of the week in? I'm looking for DXY longs. Most weeks we come into a bias of being liquid with having some indication of what we would prefer. This week I am DXY bullish. The reason I'm DXY bullish is higher time frame bias, higher time frame POIs, order flow, and understanding current market conditions. For me, it just makes more sense to trade DXY long until we see some form of dump off or major potential reversal. Could it happen from here? Absolutely. Do I think it's going to happen from here? No. And that's the key. Understanding that it could happen, of course, but being not deluded in a sense of I still want to trade DXY higher. So in my understanding is I need to find areas where price may react from, and then obviously look to trade from. And like I say, we have 2 daily FVGs. We do have obviously a weekly FVG all the way down here. So there's many arrays and POIs that price can react from. We just need to get in line with the correct one. And as always, trading does come with risk, in a sense of price might come into this daily, make a really nice displacement off, looking like it creates low of the week, for price to just run through it. Right, and that's the risk. There's always going to be a risk on the table when you take a trade, and that's what trading's about. But it's mitigating risk and understanding that if you're comfortable with risking what you're risking, then take the shot. So yes, that is it for my weekly outlook. If anybody has any questions, or if anybody wants to know anything regarding taking trades or understanding the markets in how I see them, drop a comment, drop a message, whatever you want to do. But yes, back on the outlooks, back uploading. Obviously, throughout the week, if things change, if positions get entered, if for whatever reason things happen, I do daily outlooks to, what's the word I'm looking for, to to continue with the updating of what I'm seeing and what I'm looking to do. But yeah, if nothing happens, no outlooks will be uploaded, and that's just what it is. So let's see if the rest of today can trade into this area, and then we'll see what happens for the rest of the week. So that's it from me. Like I say, drop a like, drop a message, drop a follow, whatever you want to do, and we'll see you on the next one.